What's up, fellas? You wake up every day with your head feeling like a live pinball machine and a stone backpack weighing down your shoulders. Figures. We're all running this internal race, the thoughts jumping from desire to desire, you know? Like a bird smacking into the window because of so many fantasies. A guy feels free as a bird just because he can click and consume, but the truth is, he's become a hostage to his own body. Your energy, which is pure gold, is leaking out in an endless cycle of fire and ash. Old man Jung already said it. Your life force, the libido, is being thrown out like water in a bucket with holes. Instead of living inside, it's become fog out there. You're getting crushed by mental exhaustion, your head's a tangled mess, your focus is microscopic. Why's that? Because nobody told you that this desire is raw material, like a tiger. And a tiger either eats you or becomes your shield. I'm going to tell you the gospel truth. If you don't take a firm grip on the control of your sexual energy, you won't boss around anything else in your life. So hold your horses and strap in, because we're about to climb down this well and find the way out. But first, just a quick note. If this convo hooked you, hit that subscribe button right now so we can keep unlocking the machine. Man, you feel this thing that just pops up out of nowhere in the middle of the night during a good conversation, you know? It's instinctive desire, the beast unleashed, that acts first and thinks later. Most guys swear it's normal, it's being a man, that you just gotta blow off steam and it's all good. But listen up, Jung was already clued in. The desire that you don't integrate becomes the foreman of your mind. You don't even notice, but your attention has already been hijacked, dude. The libido, that potent fuel he talked about, is being burned up like crazy on images, on filthy memory, on easy clicks. You think you're in control, but every impulse you give into is a hook that pulls you down. Desire is the bridge that links what you dream of to what you actually do, and the system stole that bridge for itself. The screen has become the new temple, and the God that lives there doesn't free you, it makes you docile. You try to study, your head turns into a blender. You try to work, focus slips away like a bar of soap. You blame the lack of discipline, but the truth is, a puppet doesn't lack discipline, it has a master behind the curtain. The first step to leaving the slave quarters is to see the invisible shackles. Check it out. For Jung, libido wasn't just sex, nope. It was the nuclear energy of your soul, the fuel that drives the human being to make art, to create, to turn the tables. But when you don't understand this force, it becomes a whirlpool that sucks everything inward. He said, the impulse that isn't recognized becomes an outlaw that acts against the homeowner. That's why so many guys with potential lie exhausted. The libido, which should be building bridges of purpose, is stuck in the vicious cycle of discharge and emptiness. It's like living with a cracked plate. You're split between what you want and what you do. The important thing, guys, isn't turning into a monk who only eats grass, no. The play is to look this force in the eye and tell it straight up. You belong to me, and I decide where you go. It's easier to be carried by the tide, I know. But real power is born right there, when you flip the switch and stop pouring your fuel down the drain. So you tell me, but I'm free. I wake up whenever I want, I click wherever I want, nonsense. The truth is, there have never been so many leashes as there are today. We're trapped in the golden cage of easy stimulation, you feel me? Dopamine has become the whip that we use on ourselves. Jung warned, the guy who only lives on external signals disconnects from his own center. Freedom becomes an act, a performance for show. You're conditioned to fix anxiety with a click, to run away from yourself with a screen. But that relief is just smoke, because the pain isn't out there, it's in here. And the more you feed that machine, the fatter it gets, and the more it demands, the more it consumes you. You confuse freedom with internal chaos. Without structure, a man becomes a horse without a saddle, just running in circles. And the worst part, your vision, your magnetism, your ability to build something amazing, goes down the toilet. To get out of this, the most radical act is to turn off the noise and face the void you're trying to cover up with cheap pleasure. Listen to this. The energy that you don't master becomes a threat, but the energy that you control turns into pure power. This is where real alchemy comes in, the whole deal of transmuting instinct into clarity, desire into direction. For Jung, transmutation isn't just talk, it's the journey of your mind. The ancients looked for gold, but the gold was internal, get it? The raw material was the man himself, the lead of addiction, instability, and the fire of desire. He saw desire as sacred raw matter. When you sublimate that energy, it rises up, turns on the headlights of vision, cranks up the charisma, becomes laser focus. But for this to happen, you gotta go to the fire. Not the fire of pleasure, but the one of discipline, of silence. The trick isn't putting a muzzle on desire, it's refining it. It's taking the out-of-control river and digging a powerful channel. Where to? To your mission. The average guy looks for the rush, the smart guy looks for potency. And that potency is born when you aim desire upward, not outward. Desire is the shadow of a greater call, the scream of the creator that sleeps inside you. There's a kind of guy who doesn't fight back. He watches the storm, but he isn't carried away by it. He doesn't give in to the easy reward. He doesn't run to his phone when loneliness hits. This guy learned to quiet the desire, and by doing that, he found the goldmine. When desire is silent, power explodes. Jung talked about the volcano that tries to hold back, calm on the outside, burning up on the inside. The unstable man is that volcano. Any little thing makes him erupt. But the guy who silences doesn't cool down, he condenses. He transforms the heat into a force of presence. He walks into a room and everyone feels the air change. He doesn't need to shout dominance because his energy has already mastered itself. To silence is to create magnetism. It's trading dispersion for potency. Have you noticed that the guys who impress the most are the ones who show off the least? They don't beg for attention. They know that strength is directed, quiet. This only happens when desire isn't making noise. Jung called this the integration of the shadow. You recognize the beast, but you don't kneel to it. You feel the impulse, but you respond with consciousness. It's right then that desire stops being noise and becomes a sacred force. The impulse isn't going to say goodbye, pal, it just changes its address. For Jung, the urge to overflow is just the tip of an iceberg, the longing to be whole. Desire is like a broken compass, showing that a piece is missing. The mistake is thinking that the piece is out there in a body or on a screen. When impulse has no mission, it spreads out, turns into anxiety, addiction. But when it finds a purpose, it funnels, becomes laser focus. That's when the new man starts to show up. The one who uses his fire to power the turbine of his mission to lead. You don't fight the force, you just redirect it. Jung knew that this only happens when you listen to your soul. Not the voice of the ego that wants attention, but the lower, deeper voice. The one that says, you didn't come here to waste your time. As long as libido is in charge, you won't hear that call. The noise of urgency drowns out the sound of the mission. Mission isn't just a task, it's a state of mind. It's living with a clear direction, and the more you are whole, the less the impulse distracts you, because you're already complete. The truth is, the master doesn't pop out of the shell ready to go. Nope. He emerges from the rubble of his own enslavement. He was fooled, he fell, but he got up and said, "The party's over." Jung taught, you only find the light when you face your darkness. The guy who masters desire isn't the saint, he's the survivor. He fell 1,000 times, but he stopped crawling. Slavery gave you comfort, I know. You just had to follow the impulse, and the world gave you a fix. But the master doesn't trade freedom for crumbs. He chooses the hard path, the path of silence, of truth. And the truth is in your face. Nobody is going to save you. Only you can raise that throne inside yourself. This throne isn't made of gold, it's made of choices, of falls you got up from, of silence honored. The master's crown is invisible, but the one who wears it is felt by everything and everyone. He walks into a room and everything changes because his energy is solid. The master doesn't have to prove anything. He is. Maybe you feel a jolt now, a silent recognition. That's it. That guy is me in the making. You were a slave, but now you know the way. And when desire bends the knee to your consciousness, the master comes back home with the crown. You didn't get this far for nothing, man. If this message got you in the fields, it's because the master is already calling you. Now he needs action. So wrapping this up, guys, here on the channel, we're taking big steps with the dudes who decided to truly wake up. People who are sick and tired of invisible slavery and are looking for inner power. If this conversation hit hard, do me a solid. Drop a like on the video to show the algorithm that this message deserves to be seen. Comment down below your motto, I am the master of my destiny. That way we'll know who's with us on this point of no return journey. And of course, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell, alright? For every video you watch, the slave disappears and the master grows a little more. See you in the next awakening.